The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Alrighty, and welcome to episode 13 of the Big YAC podcast. It is I, your host, Mike Pareto, and we have special guests today, a very special guest, and we have our guy Nico Salametti.
Hey, how are you doing, everybody? I'm so glad to be on the show finally.
Yeah, we're me and Nico just going.
We're riding solo. Today.
Right, solo, just the two of us today. Yeah, we tried getting some guests on, just scheduling things didn't work out, so why not? Just two of us.
We got enough content to talk about. Yeah, we can go back and forth. That's no problem at all. For us.
Yeah. So update on our merch, as you can see, as we're wearing it, we got official Big YAC podcast merch. Whoever doesn't follow our socials, if you're one of the people who are on the BICBP network that stream this podcast, we have merch. So
actual good quality merch. Like I promise you, we didn't just meet together and steam some logos on the t-shirts.
Right.
We got a legitimate shop. It's up and running. Got a website. It's looking great. And we even got the product in before we put the shop live to make sure that it was good enough to put up to our fans' standards and the standards that we want to set for ourselves. So can't speak any higher of Spreadshop. This is not a sponsored video, but hey, if you're looking for a sponsorship, Spreadshop, by all means, we're glad to sponsor because this merch came out great and we have a ton of stuff online. We had our first big release of, I think it's over 40 items.
Yeah.
So everything from your classic T-shirt to your, what was it? The baby
bodysuits,
the baby bodysuit, and dog bandanas. Yeah. So yeah, all that, all it's all live. So give it a check out. It's the Big YAC Podcast.myspreadshop.com. Once again, that is the Big YAC Podcast.myspreadshop.com.
Yeah. And we had the first 24 hours of the shop going live. Got a lot of orders. And I think we have 15 orders.
Those emails were coming in. We get an email for every time there's a new order coming in. So it was really cool to see. As soon as we went live, as soon as we made the announcement, just the amount of support and love that we got over the last few days already.
I think I was at the first order.
You were the first order.
Yes, you were indeed. Maranto was chomping at the bit to get the Big YAC Podcast merchandise. Did it come in yet?
No.
Oh.
It's not Amazon.
You had to pay extra for that expedited ship.
You order it, and it's before you set send. It's already in your.
We already knew you were going to get this,
door. So I got the hat. I got the organic hat or whatever the hat. What's the one hat?
We're eco-friendly.
The eco-friendly hats. I'm saving the environment.
I'll be rocking that hat.
And I got no, but it was funny because Emerge is trying to set up our own shop. Christian and I are setting that up. And we were looking at the products, and what we liked is that it does definitely have the what do you call it? The higher quality T-shirt versus just a regular T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to see because what you're wearing looks good,
this is the
and
premium.
it looks like it's a
this
nice
is the
shirt.
Premium ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of premium, who doesn't like a premium giveaway?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know if you guys saw on our social medias. We have a giveaway going on. It won't be this episode that we announce it, so for everyone that already put their entry in, thank you, but we're not announcing the winner tonight.
Nope.
That will be next Wednesday to give our people more time to put an entry in. So all you have to do to enter into this giveaway is like the post, follow our Instagram, comment and tag 2 friends, and then share it on your story.
Yeah.
That puts in one entry, and what we will be giving away are one of these brand spanking new premium T-shirts and a sticker. That'll be the first sticker that's sent out for the Big YAC. I don't even have the stickers yet, but
yeah, I don't think anybody has ordered a sticker yet. Somebody ordered a mouse pad though.
Somebody did get a mouse pad?
Yeah, somebody did get a mouse pad.
That's exciting.
I saw that.
I'm excited for that.
That sounds like somebody's grandma. Who uses a mouse pad?
Yeah.
It's like what you had when you had the computer monitor that was like 2 feet deep.
Yeah.
It's cathode ray. You know,
That
like,
mouse isn't going anywhere.
well, the
past
mouse
that.
is optical now. You don't need like there's like a wheel anymore, right? It's like,
Yeah. But yeah, everybody take a look on our Instagram. I saw it on Facebook. I don't know if it was one of your relatives or something like that, but they commented on our Facebook post and they go, I'm too old to use Instagram, but I love what you do with the podcast. And I'm like, well, I was like, that's
it's the effort that's there.
yeah. I appreciate the love, but I don't know who it was.
Sorry, that doesn't qualify.
That doesn't yeah,
well, I saw Krebs' mother today, so she was, oh, that podcast is great. So you got a listener.
yeah,
Good. Yeah, I like that.
Shout out to Krebs' mom.
Yeah, Mrs. Krebs.
Thanks, Mrs. Krebs.
But yeah, everybody check out the Instagram and enter. We'll be going basically up until our show next Wednesday, and then next Wednesday on the show we'll do a little
live. It'll be a live episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna spin the wheel just so everyone knows that it's legit. We're not picking favorites.
Yeah.
So go ahead, put in your entries, and we'll see who wins the premium sticker package.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, before we start a show, I want to talk about you recently got a dog. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah. So okay, I don't have him just yet. I went out to a small town called Wyalusing, Pennsylvania.
Where the heck is that?
It's halfway between Elmira and Scranton. That's the best way I can describe
Yeah,
it.
we got the dog. We had the dog on
Dog's up
the,
on the screen
so.
there.
So this guy right here, this is Theodore. I don't know if you guys saw on my personal Instagram, I made it a whole. It was a
It
whole
was like a
NFL
draft
bit.
pick.
So I said with the first pick in the 2022 puppy litter draft, the Salem Benny household selects Theodore.
Theodore.
So Theodore is a golden doodle puppy. He will likely be between 40 to 50 pounds when he's all grown up.
Decent size, yeah.
But yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's our family's first.
Get Theodore and Echo together. A little bit, you know.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
to. We'll have to get each of them the dog bandanas
Yeah,
too.
that's it. You know.
Yeah, big yak bandanas.
Well, congratulations.
We'll have a new mascot
You're a
for
new
the show.
dad.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
dad.
yeah. Either we could use Theodore, or we go out and we get an actual buffalo.
We're good. Yeah, I think somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. I mean,
So the big yak
It'll be.
wasn't an option on the name for the dog. You couldn't cross brand.
Go
Your,
on.
You know, I
your
didn't
dog.
want to exploit the dog that much. Of course, he's going to be exploited for social media purposes,
Yeah, of
but
course.
but I couldn't brand
official
him,
dog of the big.
I
Yak
don't think my
podcast.
parents or Molly would really
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
that one.
probably-
yeah. Big yak, come here, boy.
Come here,
on.
Yacky.
Come on, come on.
Oh, that would have been good. That would have been cute. So,
Come here, the Big Yak Podcast.
Come here. I recently went to the Bills game Monday.
Oh, how was
I
that?
ended up going to the Bills game Monday. Here's the thing: is I had no plans on going to that game.
Yeah, I saw you were at the game, and I was like, I thought you said that you weren't going to the game.
So I wasn't, and then Sunday night came around, and I'm sitting here, and my friend Nick is texting me, and he's like, "Bro, we gotta go to this game, bro. Like, it's a home opener, it's a primetime game. Like, we're facing the Titans, like all this stuff." I'm like, "Dude, like, have you seen tickets?" And so,
Even the tickets to like the Bills Jets game in like December are like $150 a pop.
yeah, man, those are usually like $40 tickets.
Those are okay. You go like the few days before the game, and they're $6 tickets.
Exactly. So, spent a pretty penny on those tickets. I sat 140.
I won't ask you how much you spent. I will
It's
not
more,
ask.
more than what you should spend on a Bills game. I mean, it's worth it. It was
Was it
definitely
worth
worth it. Oh, it was.
You had good seats. I mean, you were right there.
I was section 140, row 6.
You
so
were, like-
literally 6 rows above the sideline.
Yeah, you were right.
We're-
Like, who took your picture? Did you have a player
So
take your picture?
So what happened was like one of the grounds people, like the people who work, like they do the flags and
Yeah.
all that. They do a little bit of security. Nick was like, "Bro, let's see if we can take our picture." So I'm like, "Yo, do you mind like taking our picture for us?" So he was like, "Yeah." So he grabs the camera and he goes like this and he takes the picture, and I'm like, me and everybody in the first row are like, "Yeah."
It was a
like-
pretty cool picture too. That's all I saw. I didn't realize I was texting him. Like I was texting him during the game. I'm like, "Yo, we should do a T-shirt giveaway." And meanwhile, he's actually at the
I'm
game.
actually at the game, yeah, going crazy. Like the Matt Milano pick 6 was right there. It was right in front of me. Matt Milano was like right here.
Did he Buffalo leap into your area?
He did. And so basically, I could have went down and patted him on the helmet, or
Did you?
gave him a kiss or something like that. But
Do it
here's
for the brand.
the thing though.
For the Big Yak.
Yeah, I saw him pick the interception off, so it's in his hands like this, and so I'm like, oh my god! So I'm grabbing my phone, I'm trying to get a picture, a video of it, and Snapchat wouldn't load in time, and then I got basically after he crosses the end zone, and then as he jumps in, and so then I just ended up taking a video.
You know what you got to do next time?
What?
If you get those seats again, bring a Big Yak sticker. Peel it off, and next time they jump into the stands, smack his helmet. And
Smack it on the helmet.
we'll have a branding. That's the best branding you could possibly get. That's how you get a national audience.
Yeah,
Right then and
and
there.
I mean, how would they even How would they even catch you?
Exactly. Hey, no,
You're
Mike.
have to
Mike didn't do it.
confiscating,
They're taking away
merch,
stickers now at the.
illegal branding. So
Yeah.
you can bring the gun into the game, but you can't bring the
that
sticker.
sticker.
Can't bring
Nah,
the
see,
sticker.
we
You don't
can't
want
have
anybody-
extra marketing
especially
on
the
those
NFL.
helmets.
Oh my!
Mhm.
Like,
We
no,
can't even
no.
say we can't even say the big game's real name
Oh my God!
without
Yeah.
without getting for NFL getting their piece of the pie.
Right. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. I've been to a fair amount of Bills games, but I've been to home openers, but I've never been to a primetime home opener. And it was.
I don't think we were born since the
Yeah,
last
we were
prime
born.
time
Yeah.
home opener.
Yeah, I think that was during the 90s and the last time that might have happened. But
Yeah, there were years there. I think there was 8 years where they didn't have a primetime game.
yeah,
that sounds about right.
I think it was.
I
And
think it
actually,
was
they
like
would
the
get
mid-2000s
because they had those
into
stupid
the-
Toronto games.
Yep.
Oh.
And then they had those. Did they go to Europe a couple times too?
Did they go to England once?
Because that's always the crappy
might have.
teams. I was. That's why I was surprised. Campo
Yeah.
Bay was actually going to Europe this year. I was kind of surprised.
Mhm.
But generally, the European game is always terrible.
Yeah,
You know.
now they got it's all in Europe, and then they have Mexico, and I think they're
Germany?
I think Germany's
Yeah,
hosting one
Germany's
now.
one because actually, Zach was telling me because this is a thing that came up in his program, his class is that Germany. That's the only place that they actually think that if the NFL ever tried to expand to, Germany's about the only place because that's the one country where football's huge. And it's because of the years. There's so many people with connections to the United States because they're married to servicemen and things
That's
like that.
interesting.
And there's a lot of servicemen still in Germany, more than any other place. I think
You
in
would
Europe.
think it'd be England, but no.
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've talked. We've been in London obviously a bunch of times now, and in a few conversations I've had with people over the years, they like the NFL, but it's like they don't want a team. They've got rugby, they've got soccer, they've got actually basketball is big,
Right.
it's huge over there.
Makes
Now.
sense.
They care more. They want to hear more about basketball than they want to hear about the NFL. They're
You'd
NBA
see an NBA
is
team
definitely
before you
NBA
saw
is
an
definitely
NFL.
more
Yeah.
popular in Europe than football, without a doubt, because they can have teams like. There's teams all over Spain. You can see the amount of players that are coming from Europe that are, that are basketball players.
Right.
Olympics too.
Yeah.
Football doesn't have the Olympics; they just have
Yeah.
the Pro Bowl
One day.
one day.
One day it'll be the NFL world team. Just a bunch of 6'10" Norwegian crazy
All I know is if a guy like Luka Doncic comes over,
Exactly.
not what looks like Luka Doncic, but the effect, Luka Doncic comes
just
over,
a physical specimen.
just a physical specimen comes in, takes American basketball by storm, and then just dominates
we
the
want
league.
Ivan Drago on the Patriots.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
imagine seeing that.
He would go to the Patriots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's do a segment on that where villains would go to
Where
as a
villains would
team.
go nowadays.
We'll save that for
Football
the
team.
off season.
Yeah. But yeah, since we do not have a guest, we're gonna put Nico through the ringer again with the 2-minute drill. Last
Top
time,
performer.
yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did it with you. I
Yep.
think it was two or 3 weeks ago, and I don't know if he made it.
I
I
don't think I did.
I think you missed out by 1 or 2 questions.
So these are the questions that were originally supposed to go to our one guest, right?
Yes,
So these are going to be kind of layups, right?
They're basically layups. I mean,
Because you were giving me some tough questions 2 weeks ago.
I was just testing.
You were drilling me there. That was a drill.
Yeah, I was testing you there. So this time it's there are questions aimed towards him, but you can answer them too.
Let me pull up my Eagles.
Yeah, Rodney was an Eagles fan, so yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. Give me the questions in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty, Tua and the Miami Dolphins had a record-setting game last week. Do you trust them going forward, especially in fantasy?
So here's the thing: they were crap for 3 quarters. Tua had a fantastic quarter, but that's what it was, a quarter. I don't fully trust Tua just yet. If he can put up a good performance against the Bills, I would maybe stream him for a quarterback. If you're a guy that has Trey Lance, or if you're iffy with Justin Herbert still, go ahead and pick him up now, hold, and see how he looks.
Okay. Titans bench quarterback Ryan Tannehill after a horrific performance. How worried should Titans fans be?
I don't think. I feel like they always thought this was going to be more of a rebuilding season. I don't think that they were ready to contend at all. And I feel like honest Titans fans would tell you that they're not ready to contend this year. Despite them being the 1 seed, I think they were quite possibly the worst 1 seed of all time. But, I think we end up seeing Malik Willis sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Should the Lions be considered a contender this year?
I'll say one thing.
NFC.
I'll say one thing about the Lions. Any game, if I'm betting on the Lions, whatever the over is, I'm taking it. That offense has been electric, and they're no stopping. I think what's the thorn in the Lions' foot is going to be their defense, and let's see if that can kind of progress as the season goes on. Aiden Hutchinson looks great.
Oh, yeah. Which one of these teams will be the first to achieve their first win? Bengals, Titans, Colts, or Raiders? All 0-2.
Without having the schedule memorized, give me Bengals.
Bengals? Okay. Do you believe the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFC right now?
In the NFC, they're the hottest team. I don't think they're the best team.
Do you think they'll finish the best team?
I think they'll finish top 3. I can't give them number 1 just yet.
All right. And then are you taking Bills versus Eagles potential Super Bowl matchup to the bank? That's piggyback out the last one.
To the bank.
To the bank?
To the bank.
All right.
To the house.
To the house. How many seconds do we have left?
2.
2?
I made it. He made it.
He won this time. Let's go.
All right, let's go. I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it. Last thing about the Bills and Eagles Super Bowl, I don't think the United States has the infrastructure for the damage that will come to the Northeast to a Bills and Eagles Super Bowl.
I know how many Bills fans are, and I was just we talked about when I went to Philadelphia, 2 months ago, or it was a month, basically 2 months ago.
They're still repairing Philadelphia after the Super Bowl win.
Yeah, it's those fans are just. If any Philadelphia fans are watching, dude, they're feral people, man. EDP. I don't know if I want to mention his name because he is kind of canceled, but like guys like that, man, they're just regular. They're just insane.
They're regular
They're
Eagle
just
fans.
insane. But yeah, man, like the whole Northeast would just
crumble.
Would be,
I think sea levels would rise. To be
sea
quite
levels
honest.
would rise. Like the world would end, I think, if that Super Bowl would happen. And it would be interesting because the Bills would face all 4 NFC East opponents.
Yes. Yeah. That's true. That's the only NFC East opponent the Bills have not faced in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe things will be different.
Yeah. But to piggyback, I want to talk about, right before we go on, so those teams I list, Bengals, Titans, Colts, and Raiders, like those are the 4 teams who – a lot of people thought going into the season we're going to, not take the league by storm, but I mean the Bengals had their crazy season last year. Titans, as you said, 1 seed last year in the AFC. Colts, some people, including me, had them favored to win the division. I know it's only running into week 3, but then you have the Raiders.
My issue with the Colts is I don't think anyone saw this coming.
This is
1-1.
Yeah.
I mean, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sean said during his week he had the Bills and the Colts fighting over the 1 seed.
Yeah, I had them winning. I remember I was on the Stakes podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to them like, Colts are going to be like a top 4 seed.
That's what I wrote off. I was willing to put Colts winning the South in ink, but now it's anyone. Even the Texans, it could be anyone's game.
I know. And out of those 4 teams that I listed, the most worried I am is definitely the Colts.
Yep.
I think it's just they got blown out 24-0 by the Jaguars.
Right.
Like I understand, the Jaguars are improved. They have a whole new little regime they got going on, but 24-0, you can't even put up a single point.
My question is, does that tell you how bad the Colts are or how good the Jags are? Or a little bit of both? I
think it's a little bit of both, honestly. I think, the Colts are figured out, overhyped. I know it's the first 2 weeks, as I just mentioned. A lot of crazy things happen. But I mean, typically, like the Bills last year lost to the Steelers week 1. We knew that wasn't the team that was going to be going forward.
The game script it kind of reminds me of like when Tennessee was starting to get figured out.
Mm-hmm.
You stop the workhorse running back, and this team's going to fold.
Right.
You stop Derrick Henry in Tennessee, and there you go. You have the W against the Titans.
Yeah.
You stop Jonathan Taylor. Like they don't have much of an identity beyond Jonathan Taylor. It feels like.
I just saw how Matt Ryan was playing the other day, and he just looked lost out there, man.
They don't have anyone even behind Matt Ryan to like look forward to.
And Michael Pittman didn't play, so they have guys like Paris Campbell out there. You have Ashton Doolin,
Right?
You have guys like that running routes, and it's like I get it, but
Paris Campbell was their wide receiver 1 on Sunday, and he had 0 fantasy points.
yeah, and people were telling a lot of fantasy people were telling people to stream him. I'm like,
Yeah. I played.
You
Paris
were one of those
Campbell.
guys?
I played Paris Campbell, and I spent fab dollars on Paris Campbell.
How many fab dollars you spent?
I think like 2 or 3. Like I wasn't betting the house on Paris Campbell. I thought I could stream him for 1 week and let him go. I was like, yeah, that's worth $2.
You were in Austin with the $26 on Jeff Wilson.
Don't even get me started on that.
Dude, like I talked about that last week, and we Jules brought it up a couple days ago, and he didn't even start Jeff Wilson. What was the point of spending $26 on him?
In that same I was the one in that league that said that everyone overvalues FAB dollars.
Yeah.
And I will still stick by that, but there's still a limit. Like, I'm not going to go out there. Yeah, I don't value my dollars as much as other people in the league, but Austin throwing $26, I mean, that's 25% of your budget. Mm-hmm. Are you going to throw a quarter of your entire waiver wire budget for the whole season
player
for a player you're not even going to start?
Yeah.
Like if he had question marks at running back, like if he had I don't know, say someone went down. I can't even think of who went down. No one's gone down yet.
Mm.
That's a great pickup. I mean, I guess if he had Elijah Mitchell, then that'd be a good pickup for him, but he didn't even start him. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Big YAC Podcast, what's your thought on that? Would you spend 25% of your budget on a bench player? Please let us know.
Yeah. Like Vinny put in $25, and I understand that because his RB2 is who's his RB2? It's nobody good. I think it's I forget who it is, but it's nobody good. It's nobody good.
He has.
Yeah, I don't know if he has it like on hand real quick.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, no, his teams. He has Delvin Cook, but then beyond that, he has Travis Etienne and James Robinson. Seems like he's going to be that RB1 in Jacksonville for the time being.
He needs a little RB help. So that's I can understand that. But
right.
Austin,
he needs him. Like he actually needs him to play, but that's just
do better, Austin. Do better.
Do better.
But yeah, let's go on to our next segment. Let's go to Take It to the Bank.
All right,
let's go. First game we got going on today is Thursday, tomorrow. We have Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Both teams losing last week to AFC East opponents. So the Patriots beating the Steelers. That was just kind of like a real stale game. Then the Jets-Cleveland game got crazy at the end. Kind of like how Miami and Baltimore did. It feels like almost all AFC North and AFC East faced, except for the Bills.
Yeah. I think you'd be right on the money there. But then they face the AFC North like one after one after one. They have the Ravens coming up, the Steelers coming up.
Yeah.
And then after the bye, they have the Browns, and then after that, I mean, the Bengals games later on, but still, like they face like an AFC North team one after another, and then quickly after.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting in the schedule.
Yeah.
Not something I'd expect to see all the time, but
right. So for this game, I have Cleveland actually. You know, Cleveland's home. Money line is 190. Spread is 4.5 points, and the over under is 38.5. Bet that I chose Najee and Chubb. Would you take this to the bank? 200 plus rushing yards. Rushing and receiving.
200 all-purpose in both.
200 all-purpose and 3 total touchdowns combined for plus 550.
No, I'm not taking that. Anything that's involving this game, it needs to have the under involved.
It's going to be.
This is going to be like a 17-14 game.
Yeah.
I don't care if the over/under is at 38.5. This is going to be a 17-14 game. I have Pittsburgh covering, but is it Pittsburgh the favorite? Or is it Cleveland?
Cleveland's a favorite.
Oh, then give me Pittsburgh covering. Easy.
Yeah.
Plus 4.5. This is going to be a 3-point game in either direction.
Right. Next game we got Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills versus Miami. You're going to this game,
I
correct?
am going to this game, and it seems like everyone from Western New York is going to this game.
going to the game,
Even
too,
I'm
correct?
going to the game.
And we might just have to host the Big Yak podcast out in
Yeah, I'm not going to be down there, but you guys, carry the
call
torch.
in.
Carry the torch. I'll call in.
I don't have a shirt. If my shirt shows up, I'll wear the shirt.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't
perfect.
own a Bills shirt.
What?
I don't own anything.
I,
I have a James Lofton jersey.
so there you go. You
Oh.
own a Bill shirt.
Yeah, you can wear the vintage stuff.
I mean, he's 90. I think. I don't know if I'm wearing my 90-year-old jersey.
I still have a LaShawn
So-
McCoy jersey sitting somewhere.
Yeah,
My
it's not a
sister has a
bad one.
Trent Edwards jersey.
Oh,
That's
God.
not so good.
I had a Trent Edwards jersey, too, growing up. And I don't know what my infatuation was with him, but,
Seemed like the guy.
he seemed
until
like the
that
guy.
concussion, and that
There was a
it.
lot of J.P. Lossman jerseys.
Yep.
And I just could never understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who was the wide receiver they had for 1 year?
Terrell
T.O.
Owens.
Tyrell. And T.O. There was a lot of jerseys. People
Honestly,
thought T.O. was going to have a year. And
I would pick up T.O. I would pick up a T.O. jersey right now. that might be a hot take,
Just
but
not the Bills one. I
yeah,
mean,
no,
like,
that's exactly. I would just cause.
just
That's
'cause
like
it's,
that's
'cause
like
it's ridiculous at this
the
point.
season that Frank Gore played for the Bills. I was like, yeah, I'm considering buying a Frank Gore jersey for the Bills.
Okay, the
but
Frank Gore one, I can. I guess you're right. I guess it's T.O.
it's fun. Like it's not to this extent because Von Miller has a 6-year deal, but it's like getting a Hall of Fame player that's going to be a Hall of Fame player. Yeah. If they play a season on the Bills, they may be well past their prime. Like I know Adrian Peterson says he wants to sign with the Bills. If Adrian Peterson signed with the Bills, maybe I'd consider getting a jersey just because, just given the pedigree of the past career. But I don't know, that could have a whole episode to itself.
Right.
Jerseys.
Bills are favorites, minus 225. Spread is 5.5, and the over/under is 53. Weekly special for this game. I'm also picking the Bills as well, despite Miami's crazy game that they had. The bet weekly special from DraftKings: Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to combine for 300+ receiving yards and 3+ touchdowns, which is plus 1,600. Basically, to repeat what they did last week.
So here's my thing. We talked about this on the show last week, and people are getting to the point where if you bet Buffalo and you bet the over, it doesn't matter what the spread is. It doesn't matter what the over/under is. Take Buffalo covering over, and you're going to win money. Like if there is an example of taking it to the bank, that's been what Buffalo has been for the last, I think, 5 or 6 games now. Like going back into last season. So I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm going to take the over, and I think I'm going to take Buffalo even if the spread was 10 points because they look unstoppable.
Yeah.
Again, Miami looked okay. They played 3 mediocre quarters, and then Tua had a fantastic quarter, and Hill and Waddle woke up. The thing that scares me with Buffalo is the 2 rookie corners that are going to likely be the starters next week against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I don't know how that's going to look. It's going to take a lot on our safeties and that back end help and a lot of zone scheming.
Might not even have Micah Hyde as well. Micah Hyde didn't practice today.
And that's the thing, too. So I think it's going to be a shootout. This might be one where the defense starts to let up a little bit. So give me the Buffalo. The over is an easy bet, but I don't know if I can take the bet of Hill and Waddle basically repeating what they had last week.
No, that was, they both, were exceptional. Tua was exceptional. But like what they did,
that was historic.
That's
you don't
historic.
see that, and that's not something that you're going to see every week. Those are Madden numbers.
You might
that
have they might go 7 catches for they might post up 100.
I think my best game on Madden was Tua's stat line, 467 and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think that was probably my peak Madden, and Tua just did it.
Exactly. Next game that we have, another 1:00 game. We have Kansas City at Indianapolis. KC is favored at minus 280. The spread is 6.5, and the over/under is 50.5. I'm gonna pick the Kansas City Chiefs because
an easy one.
That's the easy one. Indianapolis has been struggling very bad. Kansas City looks great.
There's only one team that can stop the Bills, and I think it could be Kansas City.
Yeah,
we're gonna see them. We're gonna see them play in a few weeks, but that's the one team that I think could slow them down.
Yeah. How about this bet? This is a little one I constructed. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 75+ rush yards and 50+ receiving yards and a anytime touchdown.
You put this together?
I put this together.
That's a fun bet. I
That is a
think I
fun
would.
bet.
I think I would take that one.
Because Indianapolis still might not have Shaq Leonard.
We're
don't
seeing a
know.
lot more out of Clyde Edwards-Helaire these last couple games than we have ever seen before.
I feel like it's been needed. Honestly.
Yeah, it makes their offense two-dimensional, and you kind of had to expect that a little bit with them losing Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes is spreading the ball out even more, even adding that extra option in CEH's pass catching ability. I think that's a good bet, and I could
You
very
take
well
it to
see
the
that
bank.
happening. Taking it to the bank.
Yay.
I don't see. We'd have to go in and create that bet and
Mm-hmm.
see what the actual odds are of that, because I feel like that's a realistic bet to take.
Yeah, and the problem with when we do our show on Wednesdays is when I go into DraftKings and FanDuel, most of the time, unless it's a good game,
They don't have these specials.
They
ready.
don't have they don't have the specials, and they don't have player props.
Right.
They have just what the team's gonna do. They have are the Chiefs gonna have 10 points in the first quarter,
Right,
stuff
and that's
like
the
that.
unfortunate thing too, where it's we can't record on Fridays because we'll miss Thursday night football. So
Yeah, so we think Wednesday is the perfect time to get our stuff out, and then by Thursday and then the weekend we're all good.
odds makers are not ready with us.
Exactly. Do better.
Do better.
Next game we got is Cincinnati versus Jets. Cincinnati is favored at minus 210 actually. Spread is 5. Over under is 45.5. I'm gonna go Cincinnati, despite Cincinnati being 0-2. I think this is the game they turn around. It's a good turnaround game. It's the Jets. I mean, you could have said that last week with Dallas as well.
I don't know if I can be saying that anymore. I was like, oh yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Jets, and then suddenly
Kevin
Kevin Stefanski has the kids out at the 2-minute warning. The kids were all around him, and they were getting ready to rush the field up 2 scores, and the Jets just came back and told those
Yeah.
kids to go back home.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give up on Joe Burrow in the Bengals just yet. I think they turn it around this week. They're man, it's just crazy. Those teams I listed earlier, it's just you expect them to be 0-2 at this point.
Yeah, even more so going back to the 2-minute drill and saying that Cincinnati is going to be the first team to get their win back. I think they're going to win this week. I think the Jets cover, but I think that Cincinnati wins.
This is another bet that I proposed myself. Joe Flacco, 250 plus passing and over 1.5 pass touchdowns.
Joe Flacco threw 53 times week 1. Give me this all day.
All day?
All
Yes,
day,
sir.
taking this to the bank, putting the
'Cause
mortgage on that one.
Joe Flacco's been throwing that ball, man.
They have been.
He's making Corey
slinging it.
Davis look like a star.
Making Corey Davis look like Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. I don't know if I go that link, but I tried getting him today on the waiver wire, and Rodney beat me out in Fab Dollars by $1.
He knew his market.
Yeah, he knew. I'm gonna take that to the bank as well. Good matchup right here. We
like
have
this.
Philadelphia versus Washington. Going back to our week 2 bet that we've talked about a good amount of times. Revisiting the bet. I'm picking Philadelphia over Washington this
6.5
year.
points.
Yeah, or no. Well, for our bet, Philadelphia. Our bet's to win the division or to have over 10 wins.
So my original first take to the bank was that the Eagles were gonna have, or the Commanders were gonna have over 8 wins.
Over 8 wins.
Somehow that morphed into the Commanders having more wins than Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
No.
I think Philadelphia is a legitimate Super Bowl contender this year, and I was
Yeah.
wrong about them. My original bet, I think the Commanders can still squeak by with 8 wins,
Yeah.
but the teams like a good Philly team and a solid Cowboys team can
Yeah.
make that a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
But going back to this bet, Washington's going to cover, if not win.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
I'm
Carson Wentz has been balling out. If you look on the waiver right now, I think he is QB2.
We're gonna talk about
I'm
this
pretty
later.
sure he is QB2 right now.
We're gonna talk about this later. With,
Oh, yeah.
fantasy. But I can't go Washington, man. I'm going. I know Philly's on the road, but give me Philly, man. Philly's they're the hottest team in the NFC right now, in my opinion. Minus 275, 6.5 spread. Over under is 47. The bet that I chose is Hurts 225 plus pass yards, 50 plus rush yards, and an anytime touchdown.
I'll take it.
Would you take
Take it to the bank. That's been Jalen Hurts' game style the last couple weeks, and I don't think that changes against the Commanders.
Yes, sir. Next game we got Baltimore at New England. This is actually in the odds. It's closer odds than what I thought.
Am I reading this correctly? That Baltimore is only a 3-point favorite?
Yeah, that's what I.
That's got to change. That's going to change before Sunday. They're going to get up to probably 4 if I had to guess.
We were talking about it last week in the New England game, and it was closer than expected. With Pittsburgh. No, Pittsburgh was the underdog. We picked Pittsburgh to win. They're the underdog. They projected New England to win.
Yep.
So this week, they're projecting Baltimore to win, but the spread's only 3. Barely. Yeah, so they're minus 150. Spread is 3. Over/under is 43.5.
That's a low over/under too, I feel like. Yeah. I mean, Baltimore scored 35 points on their own in 3 quarters last week.
Yeah, but the problem is, I think the reason why it's that low is because of what New England's done the last 2 weeks. They've barely even put up 20 points, I think.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks.
That's
in
fair.
each game.
I mean, hey, I could bank on Baltimore scoring at least 28 here, and if they're going to make this competitive, New England, I think they're going to get at least 17, 21 points.
Yeah.
So I think the over is easy here. I think Baltimore covering is easy here. And I'm already taking a look at your bet that you have here, and I despite all that, I don't think I can take it.
No. So, it's Lamar. This is a weekly special from DraftKings that I saw. It's Lamar 300-plus pass, 100-plus rush, and 1+ touchdown is plus 800. That's a lot. That's a lot.
If it was Lamar 200-plus passing yards, I would take it, but I don't think he goes for 400 total yards against the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to go down to like 250, I think it would be more reasonable.
I think I would consider it at 250, but 300, 101 is just a lot.
It's a lot, man. That's why it's plus 800. Next game we have is Detroit versus Minnesota. This is actually a very interesting game because
this has a lot of there's a lot of storylines for this.
I'm going to put it out here right now. This might be a very bold take for me. Or not, it's not even a bold take, but I love the Detroit Lions. I love the Detroit
I thought it was
Lions.
going to be something more egregious.
I love
I thought you were going to go say the Lions were going to go win the North.
No. I was I was going to say something like that. That's why I took it back. It's not a take, but this is my take. I think Detroit is one of the most explosive offenses right now.
Do you think that they are a wild card contender?
I think they could be a wild card.
I think they can
contender.
squeak in with a weak NFC. Do you think they can squeak in as the 7th seed?
Here's my thing: is the NFC hasn't really shown me that much.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay's been struggling. Los Angeles Rams have been
Brady
struggling.
couldn't put up 21 points.
Yeah, Green Bay's been struggling. I mean, Minnesota had that good week 1, but last week they looked flat.
Yep.
Detroit though, they lost week 1, but they lost. They won week 2, and I just think they look like that offense, man, is just so electric, man.
They look stellar. They're a fun team to watch, and part of it I think is the Hard Knocks hype that's kind of building.
Dan Campbell, I think he's in those players.
And I was just gonna go into that. Yeah, Dan Campbell is a leader of men.
Yeah,
and it's showing in this locker room, and it's showing on the field. I mean, look at them. They're averaging like 30 points a game right now.
Exactly.
We're 2 weeks in, of course, but
I think this is going to be my take. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be this year's Cooper Kupp. Like Cooper Kupp, like Jamar Chase, like Justin Jefferson, that breakout young player.
Take it to the bank.
He's just been amazing. Like I think
sky's
it was like,
falling because Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat. It was like the last 6 games he has like damn near or over 100 receiving yards.
He's putting up stupid numbers, and I have to kind of be a little bearish and say that I don't know how sustainable it is. I think if it kind of relating this over to fantasy, now is the time to sell high on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Mm-hmm. But he's fun. All business and fantasy aside, they are just a fun team to watch, and he is a fun player to watch too. Yeah. He's going to be one of those superstars of the league, I think.
Yeah, but if I'm a fantasy owner and you have him on your team right now, either sell high, like real high, you get some good players,
high or ride through the whole season.
Or you hang on to him for dear life, man.
If you have him in Dynasty, you
won.
You won. You're going to be doing really well this year.
Yeah, but we're not even can we talk about DeAndre Swift real quick, man? DeAndre Swift is one of the premier backs in the NFL right now.
DeAndre Swift is a player who I kind of banked on breaking out this year.
Mm-hmm.
So far, he has shown me that.
Yeah.
He has all the makings to be the next Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it will happen this year or next year, but if it will happen this year or if it'll happen next year, I should say. But I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Here's the thing: when you establish a hot offense like that, and we talked about like the defense really isn't that good. You ride that offense and you keep and retain the same people, and then in the draft and free agency, you just go buck wild on
You splurge
on
you
defense, and then add a little bit more offensive line. They haven't even unveiled Jameson Williams yet.
Yep.
He's-
You have a rookie that's just like brewing.
He's
brewing in the pot right now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be stud. I think like you said, and then you have Aiden Hutchinson who's looking stellar. He could be defensive. He could be just straight up rookie of the year. There is not a quarterback right now, obviously, because we've only seen Malik Willis that isn't contending to win it. You might have Jahan Dotson. You might have Breece Hall, maybe.
Yeah.
But rookie of the year, I think, is good. It's very well possible that it'll be Aiden Hutchinson.
Right. For this game, I actually have Detroit Lions. I love the Detroit Lions. They're the underdog. I'm going to take the underdog here.
By 6 points?
By 6 points.
And they're facing Minnesota, who just got blown out by the Eagles, a team that Detroit kept up with in Week 1.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sitting here. It's 6 point. Spread is 6 points. I'm taking it.
Yes,
I am
easy.
taking it. I am taking it. I am taking Detroit to upset this game, and then the special bet over under is 52.5.
I'll do a take better. I'm putting Theodore on this.
Theodore,
Taking Theodore to the bank on
Take
this.
Theodore to the bank.
Two +6. Come on, give me that.
And then the bet, DraftKings weekly special: Aiden Hutchinson 2 sacks, and a Detroit win is +700. Are you taking?
I'm
that
almost
to the
tempted
bank?
to take that. I'm almost tempted to say that
I'm
Aiden
about to-
Hutchinson has 2.5 sacks.
I'm about to pull the app out right now and
and put the money down. Put
the
20
money down,
on that.
dude. I like Aiden Hutchinson a lot.
Yeah,
So.
he's going to be good. Like I said, I think he right now he is my vote for rookie of the year.
Yeah. Next game we have is Las Vegas at Tennessee. This game, these teams are both 0-2. These teams.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go Las Vegas on the road. They're favorites at -125. The spread's only 2. Its over under is 45.5.
This game, I think, will be a pick'em by the time it's all said and done, just because of how this is going to be a crapshoot game.
It's gonna be a crapshoot game.
That said, Buffalo laid out the script for Vegas. I don't think it was anything world-beating. It's stop Derrick Henry.
Yes.
If you can hold Derrick Henry to less than 3 yards a carry, there you go.
I'm gonna say
You
this about
got
the Titans.
W.
The Titans missed the heck out of AJ Brown.
I think and that goes into another point where it showed there. We have a rare instance where a player is showing how much he means across 2 different games.
Mm-hmm.
You have AJ Brown that was on the Titans getting absolutely blown out because they can't establish anything on offense, and then you have AJ Brown who is now the focal point of another offense, and they're blowing out another team. Yeah. That's the AJ Brown effect, and I think this is an interesting storyline to follow across the whole season. Mm-hmm. He is a difference maker, and I don't think he was respected as much as he should have been in Tennessee.
Yeah, and when Tennessee drafted Treylon Burks, I'm sitting here, I'm like, you're drafting one of the raw receivers in the draft,
right?
As well.
And then he was getting a lot of player comps to AJ Brown, so you're drafting a player to be AJ Brown, even though you already have AJ Brown.
Had AJ Brown,
and you gave him up. So
yeah. I don't really understand Tennessee's logic.
Tennessee's
right now.
rebuilding. If it's not this year, then they're going to blow this whole team up and get a top 3 pick in 2 years draft.
Yeah. So would you put your money on a Ryan Tannehill
No.
redemption game, though?
I am not putting my money anywhere near Tennessee.
Because
unless I am at a Nashville bar, I am putting no money on Tennessee.
Yeah, because I just wanted to see if we had our guest too. I just wanted to gauge what you guys would think.
This is
about
what
this.
Tannehill 250
Tannehill
plus
250 plus 2.5 touchdowns and a Titan win.
Oh That's
a no,
That's
hard no?
stinky. That's
It's
a stinky bet.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you guys believed in a Ryan Tannehill
No,
redemption.
I don't. I think he's past his time. We're starting to see like when you have that like sad decline of a player, and Ryan Tannehill was not a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm sorry, he just was not. He was a game manager.
Yeah.
But he's getting old, and it's showing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't really that
Right.
originally. Like
he was a decent game manager. You could throw the ball in the vicinity of AJ Brown, and you could hand it off to Derrick Henry. Then that's how Tennessee coasted to the 1 seed.
Yeah, you take a look at Ryan Tannehill's resume. Miami, he had a couple bright spots in Miami, like very vaguely bright spots in Miami. Then he go to Tennessee, and then I just feel like he hasn't done anything where I'm like, whoa. Here and there.
Vrabel is doing all that he can to like turn Tannehill into a good player, and Tannehill just doesn't.
It just hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen.
It's time to put Malik in. I would be excited to see Malik starting in the next 3 weeks, and I think that's reasonable, and I think it's possible that we see Malik Willis in the next 3 weeks.
Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. Next game we got is New Orleans versus Carolina. This is going to be a little shocking, but I'm going to go Carolina as an upset here. They're plus 125. The spread is 2.5. Over-under is 40.5. Here's my thing is New Orleans did not look good at all last week against Tampa Bay. And that was a game where New Orleans usually plays Tampa Bay pretty well. So the Jameis Winston injury, I think, is a big, big factor. He's playing with fractures in his back. He did not look that good last week. I just think that Carolina is just going to sneak one out under their noses.
I'm taking the under here. I still think that New Orleans wins this, just given the fact that I don't know if Baker Mayfield has done enough in Carolina yet to prove to me that he's really the number one quarterback and can lead this team to a victory. Mm-hmm. At least I don't think he can. I had going prior to the season, I thought that Carolina could possibly be a playoff contender. I talked about this on Jules' show. They were a sneaky playoff pick, but until we see more out of Baker Mayfield in that offense that looked like it was going to be fantastic, I'm kind of staying away from Carolina.
Yeah,
Michael Thomas looks good. Michael Thomas is back, baby.
Mm-hmm.
He is wide receiver one. Wide receiver one is back. Not Slant Boy anymore.
Oh.
He's
That's just a fun name.
But and Chris Olave is starting to kind of come into his own a little bit. You got Jarvis Landry, the quarterback's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston, I still have faith in him. I still have faith in this team. I still have faith in this defense. They held Tom Brady to a pretty low game. I mean, it was the Bucs defense that really won them that game.
Yeah.
So give me New Orleans. I wouldn't put money on this game. I think this could go as a pick'em, but I'm leaning more towards New Orleans.
Yeah, and a bet that I put together was DJ Moore 75 plus receiving, 1+ touchdown, and Carolina win. Probably has and when it comes out, it's probably something like that would probably be like a
plus 900 something around there.
Plus 900 because DJ Moore has had his struggles. I mean, he hasn't been that great.
I could see the 75 yards and receiving touchdown happen. I don't know where. I wouldn't put money in either side for this game
for the win. Okay. Houston at Chicago. Again, I'm going to pick another upset here. I'm going to go Houston.
With you.
They're plus 115.
I'm with you.
This is like a battle of two of the top 5 lowest teams.
This is going to have draft implications.
Yes.
Houston is still a couple years away.
Mm-hmm.
I like what I'm seeing out of Houston, and especially that offense, but it's not there yet. They have some young pieces. They have Dameon Pierce. I really like Nico Collins, but
is it because he's Nico?
I might have some bias there, but they look like they'll be a fun team to watch in a couple years.
Yeah. So they are. So yeah, it's plus 115. The spread is 2. Over under is 40.5. I'm going to pick them to win.
But, that being said, I still think they're going to win because Chicago does not have a clue what they're doing right now.
That's the thing. And the last 2 weeks for Houston, they held Indianapolis and Denver in check, basically, or both close games.
Mhm.
Russ was not cooking against that Houston defense last
No,
week.
Russ needs to stay away from the kitchen for a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I think Chicago is a considerably worse team than both
as a
of them.
Javonte Williams owner, I think
Yeah.
Russ needs to stay out of the kitchen for a little bit.
Yeah, take a break. Take a break. So for the bet I put together, would you go? Dameon Pierce did come alive a little bit last week. Week
Yes,
one,
he did.
it was
Yes,
Rex
he did.
Burkhead.
He didn't have a touchdown to show for like any big points, but he looked explosive.
Yeah, he looked explosive. He looked like he is now the RB1. Week one, Rex Burkhead was getting picked up
I was
like
getting
everywhere.
Scared.
Yeah,
I was getting scared.
yeah. So the Pierce train might be back on. Might be
I
back
think
on
it just
for
took a stop.
It
Like
took
it
a
had a
little
little
pit
bit
stop.
of a layover.
Yeah.
but
So 75 plus rush yards, 1 touchdown, and Houston win.
Give me that.
Give me that.
Give me
All
that.
right,
What is
take it
that?
to the
Plus 800? What do you think it'll be? Plus 800?
I'd probably say plus 800 just because he still hasn't had his first touchdown yet, and I don't think he's gotten close to 75 yet. But, Chicago's defense hasn't been that great either. So I think this is a prime, welcome to NFL. I'm Dameon Pierce. Boom.
This is how you put your name out for yourself.
Exactly. Next game we have Jacksonville at LA Chargers. I feel like this one's it might be a no-brainer, might not be. Chargers, I'm going to pick them at minus 305. The spread is 7. Over/under is 48. Jacksonville's going to, make it a little bit of a game, but I just think
Jacksonville's starting to turn a lot of heads, and I think we kind of touched on this earlier, like before the season started. Is they're going to surprise some people, and
definitely did last week
with the Chargers and how they stand right now. Justin Herbert, and we don't know if he's going to play for sure or not. He's still kind of going through testing with his ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, this might be a game where you have Jacksonville covering, if not winning. At 7 points, I mean, anything's possible any given Sunday here, and especially if Justin Herbert isn't 100%, you might see Jacksonville sneak one here.
right. And I'll take back the gimme. This isn't a gimme win for Chargers. But yeah, no, I do agree with your point. But if Herbert, it looks good out there. His rib injury doesn't look too bad, and if Keenan Allen is also out there, then I just feel like
If the Chargers are full swing, then I think they'll win this pretty handily.
yeah.
But we have those injuries that are there, and we don't know where we stand currently with their status on Sunday.
Right. So, bet I put together. Would you take this? Eckler, 50-plus rush yards, 50-plus receiving yards, and 1 touchdown catch.
Yes, and double yes if Justin Herbert's out, because they're going to have to rely on Eckler to keep the game pace moving.
And their quarterback is Chase Daniel if he isn't good to go.
Yep.
A little scary. A little scary right there.
So yeah, if this bet, if Justin Herbert can't play on Sunday, this bet is going to get slammed.
Yes. Next game we have a very intriguing game. We have the battle of two of the best of all time. We have Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
Another Rodgers-Brady game.
This game is basically almost neck and neck. It's very close in odds. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay here.
I'm going to have grandkids, and then we're all going to sit around the TV and watch the next iteration of Brady versus Rodgers.
It's going to be Allen versus Mahomes still.
That's true.
Or maybe.
And that'll be one will be Sunday Night Football, one will be Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay at minus 125. The spread is only 1.5, and over-under is 41.5.
This is a pure pick 'em.
Yeah. Green Bay's both teams. Here's the thing about these two teams. I think they're very similar at the moment right now, going into Week 3. Both teams have wide receiver rooms that are a little suspect. Tampa Bay's is injured because Mike Evans is suspended for a game.
Yep.
Chris Godwin might not play.
Mm-hmm.
Julio Jones still a little banged up.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of question marks there.
Rashad Perryman and Scotty Miller and
Russell Gage.
Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley. Still in the practice squad. I don't think we're going to see him this week, but
I think he gets called up.
Really? You think he'll be on the field
I think
Sunday?
He gets called up. Yeah, it's not going to take long for him to get up to speed. He had offers over the offseason, and he denied them, kind of waiting for his right time. And I think Tampa Bay, Tom Brady loves his little white receivers. So give me Cole Beasley. If there's a player prop on Cole Beasley. If there is a player prop on Cole Beasley, I'm taking the over.
All right.
Come on. How many on what other team is
You're not
Scotty
wrong.
Miller
You're not wrong.
force fed? Why are we force feeding Scotty Miller? Thank you. Thank you.
There's just so many guys that fit
You
that.
got your Wes Welker, You got
Julian Edelman.
You got your Julian
But the way you're saying it is just like he likes his little white.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother,
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
We're gonna have a hall of sus comments by the end of the season.
You're at like 4 right now.
And I got while you're talking about Brady, I got to throw this in. What is going on with that guy's face?
Dude,
It's
Tom
Botox
Brady's
divorce.
or whatever it
looks
is.
Terrible.
Plastic surgery.
marriage stress.
This reminds me of when Michael Jackson started to look really weird. Like, like somewhere after Bad, before the trials. We're like, why? What's going on with his face? Like,
He looks like Skeletor right now.
he's sinking.
Like
Yeah,
he's
like-
getting, Halloween's
he's
coming
like
early for
Walking
Tom
Dead.
Brady. He looks like
his face is
like Skeletor.
He doesn't
We
look
gotta
good.
put a side by side up of Tom Brady and Skeletor.
He
and
doesn't
see
look
what-
good. Yeah, it's like when he went to when he started going to Tampa. I just
The
feel like
TB12 method needs needs to
Yeah.
get switched up.
yeah, I don't know. Like when he went to Tampa, it's like he bought into like the Florida man biased a little bit. Just looks like sick. I'm not trying to bash anybody from Florida right now, but I mean, y'all know the headlines that are out in the news. Florida man gets assaulted by a crocodile and then goes and buys a 30-pack of beer. Like, I don't know. You see headlines like that.
That's what it is.
Is that the one where you put your birthday in? What's the one?
Yes, that's what you put in your birthday. You do Florida man, and then you do your birthday, and then
Florida man, your birthday.
some
Those are-
headline
they're great.
shows up.
Yeah.
So tell me that this is not.
Skeletor.
Tell me
Oh,
that this is not
no.
Tom Brady.
Oh, no. Which camera are you
tell
putting
me.
it on?
Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me get on there.
Oh, where'd it
I
go?
know you
Oh, what'd you
Where'd it
do?
go? There he is. Skeletor.
It's like the meme where Skeletor runs away.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's
what
that's
it is.
Brady leaving the pocket.
Brady's leaving. Yeah, he's leaving the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
The weekly bet that DraftKings provided for us was Rodgers and Brady 600-plus passing yards and 6 touchdown passes. Basically an all-out duel.
If this was 2020, maybe, but we are now 2 years removed
I'd
from
say
this
like
bet ever
2018.
being relevant, and it's at plus 400.
Plus 400, yeah.
I
They're saying that's kind of likely.
that's not happening.
Yeah.
The Green Bay does not have any wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady is going to have Cole Beasley and Scotty Miller, and those are the only 2 guys he targets. And
I started Russell Gage last week.
This is going to be a making for a 21-17 game.
Yeah.
Give
I don't
me-
know. People
So-
are going to hype this game up so much just because of Brady versus Rodgers.
Here's my question. The over-under is 41.5, but this prop bet at plus 400 is 6 combined touchdowns. Naturally, that's 42 points.
Right.
So this is one of those classic money grabs this is from DraftKings.
Yeah.
This is one of those classic money grabs where people are going to say Rodgers and Brady. I don't know, like all the old heads especially.
Oh,
They're
the old
like,
heads
oh,
are
yeah.
going to
They're gonna lick their chops watching look
Yeah.
at this game, and then they're gonna be thrilled to see a 21-17 game when maybe they combine for
It's
300
going to be like
passing yards.
9 to 6.
Brady's gonna go for like 30 of 39, 212 yards, a touchdown and interception, and then Rodgers is gonna throw for like 150 because everything is going to Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon.
Yeah. That's
and
bad.
yep, keep me away from
Keep me
that.
away from that. We got Rams at Arizona. I'm gonna go LA Rams minus 180. The spread's 3.5. Over under is 48.5. And the bet I have is our boy Allen Robinson, 50+ receiving yards and 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns? No.
No, I know.
If it was
I'm
one
trying
touchdown,
I'm trying to get you.
The Allen Robinson trade. The train it's gone.
He put up 9 points last week. Woo!
That's a participation trophy if I've ever seen one. As much as I would love to take Arizona plus 3.5 here, I can't. I like Kyler Murray and I like that offense and I like Arizona as a team, but
They got bailed out a lot last week, man. That Vegas game.
Did you see how close that Byron Murphy was to throwing?
Oh,
that,
doing it, Deshaun
scoop and
Jackson?
score? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why? Why?
Just wait until you cross the plane.
That's like
I-
that's football
now-
tip like number 1.
Obviously, I am not an NFL player. I don't know what it is like in that moment to have 50,000 fans screaming your name because you just won it.
Oh, it's
But
crazy.
I think I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I won it.
Listen, man, I've seen people who have never touched the football on defense try to return like a fumble or interception for a touchdown, and some of them they cradle that ball, man. Or some they're either you're so like safe. Like I saw somebody 2 hands running to the end zone like this.
They're either
like
holding it
cradling
like it's
it
their
like
firstborn, or they're holding it like a loaf of bread. Like
yeah, or they're like this, and they're like
they're
running
stiff
like
arming
this.
people with the ball in their hand.
Yeah, Josh can do that, but he's the offensive guy. Let's go on to the next game. Atlanta at Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle here just because they're at home. It's -125. The spread is 2. Over-under is 42. Atlanta, they've had their tough moments the first 2 weeks, but I'm still going to roll with Seattle.
If there's anything promising about Atlanta, it's their offense. They look solid. They look a lot better than what people were thinking that they were going to be. I thought they were going to be the worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They look okay. I'm not. Okay. They're not. Again, they're not world beaters. They're not playoff contenders. But they look better than what I thought.
They're still bottom 10 to me, but they have potential to be bottom 15.
They're still an NFL team.
Yeah,
they're not a college roster.
Yeah. Would you take this bet? Tyler Lockett 75 plus receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and Seattle win. Lockett did break out last week a little bit.
Classic Tyler Lockett. We're good for about 4 or 5 like absolutely like crazy breakout games, and one of them was last week. Yes. If I notice a trend here, I'm gonna have to stay away from that bet because I don't think that this happened 2 weeks in a row. Right. If this bet were to be in 3 weeks from now, I'd be like yes. Not 1 week after another.
No. Next game we have, this is our Sunday night football game. We have a very interesting matchup now. We have San Francisco at Denver. San Francisco lost their starting quarterback Trey Lance for the season with a broken ankle, so we got the legend of Jimmy G coming back.
It's just that guy that never goes away.
Never goes away. I'm gonna pick the road team in San Francisco here, a little risky, just because I just don't like what I've seen a lot from Denver the last 2 weeks.
This is a team that had This is a game where both teams had such high expectations, and if you were to take a look at the Week 3 schedule back in preseason Week 1, you would have had this game circled as going. It would be a great game. Now it doesn't look as thrilling as it was.
Yeah.
And that's not even anything. That has nothing to do with the whole Jimmy G and Trey Lance thing. Like, they're not. The offenses aren't as potent as I expected them to be. Their defenses aren't as stout as I expected them to be.
Right.
So, it's gonna be an okay game. I think they could go either way, but they're both in that tier of kind of busting right now.
Busting.
You're forcing one there.
I know I'm forcing one there. I'm sorry.
Come on.
I know. I'm sorry. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry. San Francisco is -120. Yeah, 1.5 spread. Over under is 45. DraftKings has a bet of a Jimmy G coming out game. First game starting.
This is the Big Sus podcast.
Big Sus podcast, yes, coming out game. 300 plus passing yards, 3 plus touchdowns, and a San Francisco win is plus 800. No.
Jimmy G throws for 225, 2 touchdowns, and San Francisco maybe wins.
Would you take that?
Yes.
At plus 400?
If you had take away the win, cut the passing yards in half, and then cut the touchdowns down by 2.
That'd be like plus 150.
Yeah, that's easy money.
Last game was the Monday Nighter. This one's a real stinker. This is
Put some respect on Brian Daboll. 2-0. There are a few 2-0 teams left, and he's one of them.
Right.
He's one of them.
Right. It's Dallas though. Dallas at Giants. It's a real close game. I even think there is a favorite for this game.
Dallas beat the Bengals.
They did, but the Bengals are hurting right now.
Yeah.
They're hurting right now.
Yeah.
They, as we said, they're going to make a little bit of a bounce back.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but we'll see better days from them. Dallas still without Dak Prescott. Giants riding on 2-0. I'm going to go Giants. I'm going to say they keep the hot hand at -115. The spread is only 1 point. The spread is only 1 point. The over-under is
Giants' favorite, too.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Giants were favored?
I don't even know if they are favorites. I think they are favorites, but I think they're both minus. If I am not mistaken. I looked this morning. I'm pretty sure they're both minus, but
no, yeah, Vegas doesn't know what to do with this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This game is going to have a lot of implications for the future.
When it's a 1 point spread, it's usually like there's not really a favorite.
This is a pick 'em.
Yeah, it's not really a favorite game. So yeah, probably that spread 1 point spread is just rough. Over under is 39.
I think they'll hit the over. My dad, sorry, Jer, I think I'm gonna have to take the Giants winning here.
Yeah. And I have a bet with somebody who says that the Giants are gonna go 10+ wins this season, and they might start 3-0, but I think they're gonna start crashing a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we didn't expect them to be
2-0.
We didn't expect them to be 2-0. We didn't expect them to be a contender this year. But they're a fun team, and they have the makings of a team that could contend in a couple of years.
Right.
They're farther aligned. I mean, if I'm taking a look at some other benchmarks, they're much further ahead than Atlanta. They're further ahead of Chicago. Mm-hmm. I could say that they're even a little bit further along than Carolina.
Yeah. I
mean, you're taking
Carolina's
a look at these
still
teams,
figuring a lot of stuff out.
Exactly.
Matt Rule, I feel like, is probably the hottest. Has the hottest seat right now.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that Brian Daboll he's taken over that locker room, and I think we're going to see a lot of players kind of gravitate towards him and him kind of elevating players. We saw David Sills have however many yards last week.
Yeah.
He had
practice
his first
squad
game.
guy.
He was a practice squad guy all the way up his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar to how you see it in Buffalo, where all these guys that you would kind of like castaways are being built. And what Joe Shine and Brian Daboll are doing, or they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Where these guys are going to step up, and the Giants are very exciting to see. I think give it a year or so, the NFC East used to be the laughingstock. They might
open.
be it might be a hot division. Probably not this year, but in the next year or two, that's going to be like your NFC West. That's going to be your AFC West, where those teams, maybe not to that caliber, but where it's just 4 good to really good teams duking it out for the victory.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing I like about the Giants and what Shine is it Shine or is it Sheen?
Shine.
Joe Sheen.
I think tomato.
Joe Sheen. I'm gonna go with that. Him and Dable are employing you got to really earn your spot on this team.
Yeah.
And you're going to see some guys you're going to see guys buy into it, and you're going to see the bad get weeded out. Mm-hmm. And that's how it was in Buffalo with them. They kind of, took that same mantra, that same agenda, and that locker room presence with Dable. You saw him dancing in the locker room. He's won most of that locker room over already. Yeah. But you're gonna see guys like Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay, his days are numbered. And then I think his days are numbered in the NFL.
He's a top trade candidate.
Yeah, his days are numbered in the NFL, and his days are especially numbered with the Giants.
Yep.
Kenny Galladay hasn't done jack.
He signed that monster deal 2 years ago too, and what a waste of money. Obviously, that was the prior regime, but the new regime has to face the consequences of that.
Yeah. And, a guy like Kadarius Toney, too, has, 2 catches for 9? I don't even think he has 10 yards receiving first 2 weeks. I was so high on him on the season because of how he looked last year. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's not buying into the program. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's not involved either. So I like what they're doing in New Jersey.
Fair, yep.
New Jersey. I don't want to call them. They are New York as labeled, but they're New Jersey.
Jersey Giants.
New Jersey Giants. But yeah, give me Giants. I actually have a bet. Would you bet Noah Brown first touchdown?
First touchdown's going to Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Noah Brown.
I picked him up this week.
He's been a viable flex option.
He led the team in targets last week.
Until Gallup comes back and then Dak is back, I think Noah Brown. You can stream.
Here's the thing: you pick him up this week, you start him, you watch him pop off, and you sell him off.
Oh yeah, that's a sell high guy.
That's the big baller bean strategy of old.
Oh yeah,
pick up a waiver wire player. Watch them ball out. You just take a bunch of bets. If they don't ball out, you drop them. If they do ball out, all right, you trade them for a standard wide receiver 2, running back 2, and you keep building.
Right. Yeah, that's all we have for Take It to the Bank. Let's move on to our next segment. Let's move on to our fantasy segment. A lot of wild week 2 games. Your boy Big YAC Mike is 2-0, the only 2-0 team in the Emerge Fantasy League. Nico unfortunately took an L.
Tank steamrolled me. You got me this time, but we'll let the final standings do the talking.
Yeah, and then Mr. Moranto got his first win.
Look
My
at that.
first win, baby.
Woo!
Look at that. With the upset, too.
Yeah,
With a terrible week too.
yeah, I think he beat
Just
Dylan
squeaked
with
one by.
All
Tank
the
Pod.
losing teams, except the guy I beat, all had better scores than me. I
Yeah.
should have lost like everything. Like,
He
it's just
squeaked
terrible.
by. And you know what?
It's,
At the end of the day, it's still in the W.
It's all that
win
matters.
that's why I posted it was a win's a win.
A win's a win.
And even Zach Squared came up with an upset.
Yeah.
That game was fun to watch because we were there sitting in the basement watching the game, and that came down to the last game on Monday night because the two wide receivers were on both teams.
Yeah.
So and then
One had A.J. Brown, and one had Devontae Smith.
Zach had
right?
the number 2 and Brendan had the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we got to the fourth quarter in the Bills game, I mean, the defense wasn't going to. He wasn't going. The pick six was obviously key.
Yeah.
You know, or he probably would have lost. But it was Zach was funny because he was trying to figure out which video he was going to post on Instagram based on. Because he goes, how could I lose if Lamar had 400 points? You know, and then friggin' Tyreek Hill goes off. So it's fun to watch somebody else going through that, you know, in fantasy. It's hilarious. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Congratulations, Moranto. And me and Nico actually face each other in the Emerge.
This is the week of death.
The week of death. Yeah. Big Yak faces off against each other this week for a little week 3 fun. I mean, me and Nico are, as we said before, like we're basically teaming up against everybody else. But
See, here's my thing. If it pads our stats, do I is it considered collusion if I bench all my players? If Mike's the 2-0 team, and then I'm like,
hey,
okay,
man.
yeah,
That's
make
interesting.
it prop him up to 3-0. Like I'll take the lower seeds. I'll take the losers bracket. He takes the winners bracket. If both of us meet in the no, we're winning this fair and square.
Yeah.
See that
Nah,
tank
you
talk
got
sticker
you can't
over
do
there?
that.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
that's
No,
sketchy.
yeah. I want some comp this week. I want a game.
We're slapping the Big Yak podcast sticker on Bill's helmets and on the Tank Talk trophy.
Right.
Good.
So 2-0, man. 2-0. Let's get it. Let's make it 3-0. Let's go,
3-0
Nico.
and 2-1. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a tie this weekend.
I'm up against Zach this week.
Oh,
That's
Battle
the
of
only.
the
I said the only
podcast.
person I want to beat is Zach.
there you
Zach
go.
squared. I
rub
just
it
want to
in
be
your
Zach squared, not Zach so much, but Zach squared.
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna be an interesting
But
matchup as well.
Zach was like, "You're projected to come in 8th, just so you know, Dad." I'm like, because he's like, I'm like, oh, damn it,
So who's the better host of the Zach Squared podcast, Zach or Zach?
Zach.
Zach. Just that. For fantasy football, week 3 starts, sits, and sleepers. This is who I have for my starts. I have, I picked Philadelphia to win, but I think you should stream Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz has been a hot fantasy player right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to last, but ride this roller coaster while you can. Pick him up, and just like the Big Baller Stream Strat, Big Baller
Stream Strat.
Big Baller Bean Strat says, stream him, pick him up, let him ride, and sell high.
Yeah. And plus, this is his return to Philly,
Yes.
too.
Revenge game.
Revenge game.
Give me the over on all of his prop bets.
Yeah, I think Philly's going to win, but I think Wentz is going to have a
This is
great
the game we wanted Baker Mayfield to have week 1.
Exactly. Yeah. For my running back, I have David Montgomery at Houston. Again, I'm picking Houston to win, but David Montgomery torched the Green Bay defense, even though they lost last week. He put up over 100 yards in a touchdown, I believe. So
I think he's a solid RB2.
RB2?
Solid start. not
Solid
sit.
start. Yeah, solid start against Houston's defense. Receiver, I have Cortland
I
Sutton
love that pick.
at San Francisco. Jerry Jeudy might not play this week, so Sutton
I
is
was just going to go into that. That he led all of the players, all the Broncos players in target share. I mean, he's especially if Judy's out. I mean, he's good for at least wide receiver 2.
Yeah, so he's going to be undisputed number 1 for Denver's offense. Good receiver number 2, as Nico said. And then for my tight end pick, I have Tyler Higbee at Arizona.
Is there a reason why you have him in all caps on the notes?
The reason why it's all cap
really
right
should
is
start
because,
Higbee.
is because me and Jules have like an inside joke. He calls I can't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
I know
say.
what you're- I know
I
what
can't
you're saying.
say what he calls me.
Higby. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yep,
calls.
Yep.
He calls me a different
Yep.
something
Yep.
else, so I can't say it. But he basically calls me Tyler Higbee. I don't know if I look like him. He just likes to call me Tyler Higbee. So that's why it's all caps. Autocorrect does that already for me. So, but Tyler Higbee had he had like 8 points against the Bills week 1.
He's becoming a solid streamer.
Yeah, he's a solid streamer. He had 14 last week against They're facing Arizona this week. Who did they face last week? Can't think who they faced last week. But he had 14 points.
Yep.
And he's facing Arizona's defense, who is struggling. And I think you should stream him.
Atlanta. That's who you're thinking of.
Atlanta, yeah, it was Atlanta. My sits for this week, I have TB12, Tom Brady, at Green Bay. I put at Tampa Bay in the notes. That's nice. Sit him at Green Bay, as we talked about earlier. It's not going to be that high scoring game, as a lot of you old heads are going to think it is. He has not looked that great last 2 weeks.
Might be like the worst of the primetime games that we have this week.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to be hyping this game up as, this is Fox's America's game of the week.
Is it America's game of the week? I could put money on it being America's game of the week.
Knowing Fox, it probably is.
No, not old heads that watch Fox Sports.
So running back, I have Ezekiel Elliott. You bench him at the New York Giants. Zeke just has not looked good. He has under 10 points.
I'm not playing Zeke
first
or
2
Pollard.
games. Stay away from Dallas running backs. If you're gonna stream a Dallas running back, though, you stream Pollard. Zeke, you gotta have him on the bench.
Now is the time. If you have faith in Zeke and how he can turn it around, he looked solid week 1. He didn't have a touchdown to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the time to buy Zeke. This is probably the lowest that his stock is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with you. I wouldn't, if I had the luxury of being able to sit him, then I'm sitting him.
Yes. I'm actually going to go for my receiver sit. I'm going to go Juju at Indianapolis.
Funny enough, Molly has Juju sitting in her league.
So she knows.
So she knows. Yeah, she did more research than I did this week. I still have Juju in my flex spot, but I'm looking at the game more and more, and Kansas City really spreads out their offense more than anyone right now. I don't have the exact stats to show for that in front of me, but I mean, everyone's getting a share of the ball, and they kind of have to with no Tyreek Hill being there.
Right.
I really feel like Travis Kelce is the only pass catcher in Kansas City that's
viable pass catcher.
Yes. So yeah, I'm okay with sitting Juju here.
Yeah, it's just 4 points last week against a Chargers defense who is tough, but you need him to be out there and take control.
Yep.
So set Juju this week against Indianapolis. And then my last sit, Alberto. I've came to terms. The Alberto train's done.
Can we rewind the tape a little bit? I think if we pulled up my fantasy football draft kit, my model predicted Alberto to be the most overhyped player in terms of like variance of draft position versus finish.
Yeah, you were right about that one. I mean, there's still
I'll take my W here, but watch. He's now that we say this, he's gonna turn around. He's gonna pop off. Yeah. Like he's gonna go 8-17-1 this week.
He better not.
Then have
I already dropped him. He went from starting in my lineup week 1. I ended up getting Tyler Higbee. I thought that was a steal.
That's a good.
And then he's not dropped. So
no harm, no foul, because you got Higbee to.
Yeah. So Alberto was undrafted for me in that league.
That's fair.
That I had him in. So
as long as you didn't pay anything for him.
No. Alberto, so yeah, he put 8 points up week 1. Week 2, a fat goose egg against Houston.
I think you had him as your start last week, did you?
No, he was on my bench. So I had him I had Higbee, started Higbee,
gotcha.
And then Alberto was on my bench, and then I sat there last night, and I was like, you know what, I can't do it. It's time.
I saw the text. I saw the Alberto train has been derailed.
Yeah, I had very high hopes on him. You know, I'm sorry if you guys took my advice, but please sit him for right now. So my sleepers this week, I got Goff versus Minnesota. We talked about how, I love Detroit's offense.
And it's not even because of Goff. Like, Goff is just – Goff is a game manager. And I think game managers are going to be viable enough to play in this Lions offense.
Yeah. And against Minnesota is, like, hot and cold.
Yep.
They're very hot and cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is going to be a good, decent scoring game. If you need a quarterback, you need a quarterback for
You just lost Trey Lance.
Yeah, like I have 3 leagues where I lost Trey Lance, so I had to either put him on IR or cut him. So Jared Goff I picked up in 1 league, and he's going to be my quarterback flex. So I mean, if you really are desperately in need for quarterback help, or you need a quarterback flex, put Jared Goff in your lineup.
I will say, if Tua's still there, grab him. I know he's facing. I know he's facing Buffalo this week. So if he's, like we said earlier, if he can put up another like a decent fantasy-wise game against Buffalo, then he can play with the best of them.
Yeah.
And he could finish top 12.
That's the thing about what sucks about him in fantasy, Tua, like right now, is like you coming off that big of a game, but then you have to go and face the best defense in football. If he had, say he had like the Jets instead of the Bills, oh my God, he's must start. He's must start. But you see what Buffalo's done to Stafford and Tannehill. I mean, it's gonna be hard to replicate what you did. And I'm not trying to be biased.
Yeah.
But it's just the truth.
The only thing that scares me with Buffalo's defense is how banged up it is right now. I think there's something like 8 starters that are on the injury report. So more to come on that. We'll see how that really turns out come Saturday and Sunday. But
I mean, I would still consider starting Tua, but as a sleeper, I think he's going to be rostered in a lot of leagues regardless. So I don't know if I'm going to consider him as a sleeper so much, but Goff I feel like is a legitimate sleeper because he's still probably rostered by like 20% around that range.
If that.
My running back sleeper, Dameon Pierce. I think he's going to turn it up a little bit against Chicago. If you need him in a flex or a RB2,
going back on the sleeper, I don't know if this one, again, I don't know if this really qualifies as a sleeper at this point because drafters spent so much capital on him in the leagues, especially towards like the start of the season, that people might be forced to play him. Like it's not like a bench pickup. Mm-hmm. But if there is some sort of poor sap that has already given up on Dameon Pierce and dropped him, put all of your FAB dollars on it.
I'm only considering him a sleeper just because he had barely nothing week 1. Week 2, shine signs of life, but still didn't put on like a performance like a lot of people wanted. So I'm gonna put him in the sleeper category for right now. But if he has a good game like we've mentioned against Chicago, then he's gonna go into
must flex.
Yeah, must flex, must RB2. My receiver sleeper of the week, I'm gonna go with a little surprising pick. I'm going to go Arizona receiver Greg Dortch versus LA. Greg Dortch is basically operating as their wide receiver number 2, basically, with DeAndre Hopkins out.
Rondale Moore also out.
Rondale Moore, also out. Basically, starters would be like Marquise Brown, Hopkins, and Rondale Moore. That was projected starting 3, but now Moore's out, Hopkins is out. You're at Marquise Brown. You have Greg Dortch, and I don't even know who the third receiver.
Don't forget about AJ Green.
Oh yeah, AJ Green.
Old man
AJ Green, but AJ Green hasn't put up 10 points yet. Greg Dortch, though, on the other hand, first 2 weeks of the season has put up at least 10 points. So you have that Rams defense. They're going to be Ramsey might be on Marquise Brown most of the time.
Could open him up. I think he's a solid flex play at least this week.
Yeah, so I'm considering him in a flex, like a double flex league, especially. But I think Greg Dortch should be at least on your bench.
Yep.
But a sleeper, I think put him in there. He's got. I think he's like second or third on the team in targets for Arizona's offense. He's top 3. I'm almost positive for target share. So yeah, if you need a receiver, you need a sleeper like a flex. Greg Dortch, man, go all the way. And then for my sleeper tight end, I'm going to go with Jets tight end Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin's another guy like Dortch. First 2 weeks of the season, 10 points in each game. And tight end, mentioned it. We're going to say this every episode. Tight end is a crapshoot.
Yep. And,
Joe Flacco, the pass attempts are there. So if you need a tight end, pick up Tyler Conklin and stream him. I know a couple of people that are doing it already. I'm doing it in one of my 8 leagues.
I think if you're really strung out for a tight end, he could finish as a top 12 tight end this year or this week.
I don't think Uzama's out there either.
And Uzama's not been playing.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing
at all.
Yeah.
It's Tyler Conklin's tight end room, and this room is going to go through Tyler Conklin before anyone else.
Yeah. So if you need a tight end to stream, go Tyler Conklin. That Jets offense, I mean, they're throwing the ball a lot. I mean, they're running it respectively with they're splitting the load with Carter and Hall, but they're getting Carter and Hall involved a lot in the pass game. Carter and Hall are more valuable in the pass game than they are in the rush game for fantasy, like PPR.
Yep.
So, yeah, but Joe Flacco spreads that thing around. I think Tyler Conklin, sleeper tight end of the week. And yeah, that's basically what we have for fantasy. Do you have any other late additions? Anything like that you want to add or?
No, this week is weird. I haven't really been able to sort out my waiver wire pickups just yet. Mm-hmm. Between 6 leagues, it's all over the place.
I feel like the hot waiver ad is I've seen Noah Brown. I've seen Jimmy Garoppolo. I've seen Corey Davis. Those are like some of the top.
I would say Noah Brown, if he's not picked up yet, he's only in like 7% he's only rostered in like 7% of sleeper leagues. He led the Cowboys team in targets last week. Mm-hmm. With CeeDee Lamb getting a lot of coverage on him, that's opening up opportunity for Noah Brown, especially while Michael Gallup's out. This is another player. Pick him up, watch him pop, and sell him high.
Yeah. I was right on 2 of my sleepers of last week of Gerald Everett and Josh Palmer. Both had decent games.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And you nailed the reel that went with it, too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To come.
Yes, sir. That's all I have for us for this week. You have any closing remarks, Nico? You have anything fun going on this weekend? Anything like that?
Anything fun this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'm going to Miami.
Oh my God! I'm sorry.
I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally forgot about that.
By this time next week, I'll sadly be back here.
I'm gonna meet you in the. You gotta tell us where the.
I gotta find out because now I got my. I have family out there too, and we're all. I'm gonna stop and say they're gonna swing by wherever the Buffalo Bills
so
tailgate
let us
is.
know too, because we'll meet you up there.
We'll do a little.
I'll bring
like a
some
meet and greet
Mickey
flick
Ultras.
Up. Yes,
Mickey
sir.
Ultras. Might have to call off of work and just hop on like a red line flight or whatever they're called.
They were doing that on the radio today. They were trying to find flights.
Right now.
If you were decided to go last minute.
This might be the game of the week. I mean, Miami versus Buffalo. This has so much implications. This is not even coming as a Bills fan. Like, this is a huge game.
Both teams coming off 40-plus point games. I mean, why not?
It's interesting. I'm wondering if they'll I worry about the Bills because of the defense a little bit. But I just feel like Buffalo and Miami, they play well in Miami. They're fired up.
Josh Allen has Miami's number for the last 7 games.
You seen the picture of Josh Allen? We're up 35-0 against him. I think it was last year in 2020 where he's just sitting there looking mad. I'm like, bro, you're up 35-0, man.
Yeah.
You're up 35-0. He has something against Miami.
I think he just hates the Dolphins.
Hates Miami.
That's why people love him in Buffalo so much, because for whatever reason he gets it. He gets the history. Like he gets. I mean, it's tough to not like the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's such a lovable guy.
Like the one thing that's floating around on social media where like find a quarterback or who follows you into the end zone. The one
who looks at you like
he's like Josh is gonna beat him there. Like he's running so fast.
Like at the game, they score a touchdown. He's sprinting.
He's sprinting into the end zone. And it's like he's gonna throw a block from behind or something. I don't know. Like what's he gonna do? Like he's like he was so excited. He was like like your dad chasing you into the into the end zone.
The funniest thing too is like Devin Singletary said. I think it was last week. He goes like the whole time when he was stiff arming Hill back week 1.
Yep.
He was smiling and laughing the whole time. Like you have this 6'5", 240 dude stiff arm you and he's laughing at you about it.
Having fun out there, man.
That's scary.
Well, because I think they're all aware of when that stuff happens, it's all over. That's all over Twitter. So he knows who he is. He knows his brand. He knows that he's like that's gonna be dropping all over Twitter for the next 2 days.
And then we saw Stephon Diggs big leaguing the rookie cornerbacks on the Titans, just throwing them all around, like literally throwing them. So this team is fired up. This team is.
I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I think it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of back and forth.
Yep.
I think it's going to be. If we're going to be standing a lot, I don't think we're going to be relaxed. It's not going to be like the fourth quarter when it turns into a preseason game.
Right.
We're going to be up until we're going to be.
What section are you sitting in?
I don't even remember offhand. Actually, I do know. You know what it is? And my niece is furious because My brother-in-law got the tickets, so I haven't seen the actual section. All I know is that it's the non-drinking section.
Darn.
He didn't realize it. He just was looking for the shade. He didn't want to be out in the sun. So then he's like, oh.
See, I today was
So
actually.
I'll be
when I
drinking
looked-
before the game and in the concourse, but just not in the
You're
seats.
gonna have to pregame the hell out of that.
I'm going to hook up an IV. And,
Yeah.
I don't
Take
usually
little-
drink that
little
much. Once the
shooters.
game starts, I don't drink during the game anyway. So it's, I
I'm
don't,
usually the same
there's,
way.
it's just not something that I would do there. Because first of all, Mike spent $45 for a beer.
Oh, it's
you know,
expensive.
Right, we're
it's gonna be.
we're not
Yeah.
even in Highmark. We're in Hard Rock.
Yeah, right.
I can't. I don't even know what those prices are gonna be like.
Yeah, I spent $15 on chicken fingers the other day at the game. So
Buffalo.
selling the deed to your house. Oh, arm and a leg.
You gotta pay for that new stadium somehow, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you guys have fun at the game. I'm gonna be watching at home.
We will be reporting back.
Yeah.
a week. Tan too.
Gonna be a little tan too. I'm actually I'm going to Toronto on Friday.
Yeah? What
Um,
are you doing out there?
you guys might judge me if I tell you what I'm doing, but
Well, now you have to tell us.
I'm going to see the Weekend again.
You know what? That's on brand for Mike Pretto, and I
It's
can't be
just-
mad at it because it's you.
It's me. It's
And-
just
Hey,
As
do you
someone-
like him?
oh, I love him.
It's
Then
his
go.
It's his
I
favorite
love
thing.
him.
And even from the concert standpoint, that is a show that
both
I
went.
would see.
He
again.
he puts on a very good show.
Yeah, but it's just
Hopefully, he doesn't fall through the stage like
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Yeah.
How does that even happen? Like, how do you fall through? Like, who's in charge of the stage?
They forgot to
built
close
this?
something on
know?
the
Yeah.
stage, and he just like tripped over it.
Yeah.
He looked like he broke his elbow.
Yeah, it
I don't
looked
know.
scary for a
It,
second.
it was just a couple of fractured
Where's
ribs.
the concert you're going to?
It's at Rogers Center.
That's a nice place for a concert too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wild environment.
Yeah, the tickets weren't that bad either. So me and my one friend.
It's funny because Molly brought that up. She was like, if somehow, some way Miami fell through, we were gonna go see the Weekend again. So I can't
Should've.
judge you. Yeah.
Yeah, he has two Toronto shows the next 2 nights, and so me and my one friend, they're going to the second one. It's a little bit cheaper, but you're gonna get the same show.
So we'll have Miami to recap. You'll have Toronto to recap, and it'll.
I go to Toronto all the time, especially before COVID. I was going to Toronto like all the time. So this is my first time in Toronto since after the pandemic. So I'm happy.
You're gonna have fun.
Happy to return. But the Weekend concert, man, I love the guy. And I think, I said it before when I went to Philadelphia. I know Philadelphia kind of sucked, but I like Toronto. So it's just going to be a much better
I think you might
experience.
have an even better experience than the last time.
Yeah. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm so
Toronto's a
excited.
great place for that stuff. It just sucks getting out.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of going to that because everything's right there.
It's all
trying to
packed
get out.
in, yeah.
is- And there's the parking's terrible now, but the environment of Toronto, especially if you're walking around, it's a great city to go to.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's all I have for episode 13 of the Big Yak Podcast. I want to thank BICP Network and Maranto and Emerge. I want to thank everybody who has came and purchased merch the first couple days. It's been it's been a blessing. Like I didn't I thought there was gonna be some love, but I didn't expect this much love, man.
Overwhelming
So
support.
It's
You
overwhelming
can't be more
support,
thankful about that.
and I'm so happy of what's going on. I'm so happy of where we're going in the future, what's going forward, and
We got more designs coming. We're probably gonna have some limited releases. We don't have any timeline on that just yet.
yeah.
But limited release drops will be something that we see in the future. So get ready for those new designs, new products, and I could speak on the shop all night, but
Yeah.
we're running out of time here. But we have the Big Yak Podcast at myspreadshop.com. Take a look at the top of your screen, and check it out. And then take a look at our giveaway too. If you don't want to pay for it, take your luck at the giveaway. Why not?
Yes. Please take a look at the giveaway. It's on Instagram at the Big Yak Podcast, and let's. I think we're good.
Let's go get 'em, boys.
Let's go get them. I didn't really know how to end it right there. It just kind of brain fart. But until next time for episode 13 of the Big Yak Podcast. See you guys later.
Thank you.